Hello and welcome to the CRO podcast with your host, myself, Courtney, and this is Will.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We're co-founders of the CRO agency and manage the CRO network.
Yes. And today we're going to look into the AI-ification of CRO, our ranking of how to use AI right now, Agenctic AI CRO, and finally, like what this actually means for CRO in the future and our take on it. Quite a hefty episode, so strap in.
We've had a lot of requests for this episode,
We
but
have.
yeah, we've wanted to really dig into this stuff and use it and get real up. So hopefully you've got something interesting to say, but I'm sure this won't be the last thing. I mean, if it's the last thing we have to say on AI CRO, then
honestly,
very surprised. We're probably going to say the wrong things then.
I don't think we've had a last thing to say about anything ever. And then, of course, we're going to dive into the wall of shame and fame. We're going to go into real estate agent comparison. It's a kind of more of like a minor league lead gen vertical, but it is famous for its use of public data set to provide meaningful value to customers. So without further ado, we're just going to start with what do we even mean by this? And I'm just going to throw it over to you.
So by this, we are referring to the AI. I don't know if I can say it. The AI-ification of CRO, but don't worry. What do we mean by the AI-ification of CRO? So I think hopefully it's relatively clear what we mean by this one. I think every aspect of marketing is being touched by AI in particularly heavy ways. I think the heaviest part is on the creative side and the creative production. Both blessings and curses there, but it's particularly true for the secondary tasks, where things which aren't really resourced fully, and so people are like, oh well, if we can get an AI to do it, brilliant. And actually, in the creative production, kind of sat in that historically. It was like a subtask of the marketers, and you'd usually have someone else doing it potentially. But a lot of people would resource it because it's a very nowadays creative is king. For CRO, few companies really resource this and really believe that it's worth the value to do so. So instead, AI is really, really heavily being looked at in CRO and been trying to work out how we can have CRO done by AIs all the time because it's got all the data. It's very data driven, probably the most data driven part of modern marketing, if we're being completely honest, because we do stats literally every day, like actual stats. So yeah, it's very much being looked at, and there are a lot of different offerings on the market right now. It's important to say,
too many. I would argue too many, but hey, that's a topic for another day.
It's very interesting, and I will say all of the major CRO providers as well. So I mean VWO, AB Tasty, Convert, Optimizely, Crazy Egg. They all have AI. They're building AI into AI heat maps, AI this, they're all, and MCP access. They are, clearly this is a real, I think everyone's aware this is a real enough thing that everyone is trying to work out the best way to use AI. And I actually think it's really hard to do right now correctly. And then obviously we are seeing all these different offerings. And we will dive into Agenctic AI offerings as well, because that seems to be where a lot of people see the future. So we'll talk about that. But there are lots of different offerings on how to do it right now. And I'm very curious and keen to see where everyone kind of lands and ends up in the future. So yeah, I do think we're at the start of this wave, really very start of this wave. This is going to be washing through the industry for the next 5 years.
At least.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, this is what we mean by it. And we constantly get questions about this. So we're very keen to talk on it and kind of open up maybe with what we think is state of play right now and just ranking the use of AI for different subtasks within CRO, because it is nearly always best to think of AI and AI agents in subtasks. Don't be oh, just go do CRO. Instead, think of it any AI, any LinkedIn post on AI, but even they're getting it right, is right, define the tasks and then get AI to do it. Don't just be go do CRO. That's a terrible idea.
It's too much.
Which is something we will talk about in the Agenctic AI part. I've got swatting my hand already. But yeah, so we have broken down CRO into 6 general phases. I'm going to rank the use of AI for this. Yeah, should we get started?
Let's do it. Let's rank.
Right. Page analysis, thoughts, feelings, emotions.
Look, okay, so just to preface everything that I'm going to say, the thing about AI and AI discussions that I hate, but unfortunately it's just part of it and it just is it's always going to be inherent in an AI discussion, is what you ask AI to do sort of lives and dies on how well you prompt. So
Mm-hmm.
generally just being like, okay, do a page analysis. Like do a CRO page analysis. Okay, you're going to pull a page through, and then it's gonna what it's gonna do is basically that sort of. If you say, however, okay, if you give it more context and say, okay, it's coming from this ad set with these words, it's this part of the funnel, and you go sort of through it and you say, this is sort of the audience that's coming through, and you view it from that and blah blah blah, you're probably going to get a much more comprehensive kind of analysis, and it's going to be different. So it's always kind of a little bit difficult to be like, well, of course, if you're just doing like a really boring prompt, you're probably going to get a really boring answer. If you're doing a different prompt, you're going to get a different answer. And I think that this is true for literally everything with regards to AI. It can't read your
Mm.
mind, and you need to be really, really specific with it. There's this like video online, must be super old now, about with his dad and his like kids, and they're supposed to be writing down how he is supposed to like make a peanut butter jelly
Yeah.
sandwich. Do you know it? And like the kids are
Yeah,
getting
I've
really
seen it.
frustrated because they're just like, well, no, that's obviously not what I meant. And he's like, yes, but that's not what you've communicated here. And it's such a good lesson in
Mm.
communication. And that's so important and so true for prompting AI. I mean, there are like masterclass on how to do it. So with that being said, page analysis, even if you're doing good prompts and everything, like how do I rank it? It just like I don't rate it highly. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, we're going from F to S tier. So F E D C B A S. God, apparently I can't really do my alphabet backwards. It's very concerning. Really had to think
I
about
mean,
that.
I mean,
So you're thinking more
like a
CD
C?
for page and that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a CD kind of
Oh,
thing, depending on your prompt and what it is and what you're looking at.
mm,
See, I'm going to have to pick a lane because there's just so many variables in all of this that like it's going to be difficult to be like, oh, well, if you do that. But
I
like,
yeah.
it just, AI, AI seems to rely, in my experience of it, it seems to rely very, very heavily on obviously what's on the internet. And what's on the internet are very much just sort of general best
Yes.
practices. And this is very rigid. And these best practices, whilst they are best practices, aren't actually always going to work for what you're doing, what your vertical is, what your goal is, and all of the different things. Now, something like having a CTA above the fold, yeah, all right, cool. That's across the board. But the type of messaging and all of those things, that's going to vary heavily if you're looking at like healthcare as compared to cosmetics. Like there's
Mm,
just so much difference. So
yep.
page analysis, I think, is good if you want to do like a basic, okay, you need a CTA above the fold. You need to have like a visual hierarchy. Those really, really basic, like best practices that every page kind of low key needs. Go for it. If you actually want an analysis that's going to provide context and meaningful like help, I wouldn't bother with AI. Not
Yeah.
at this stage anyway, and not in my experience.
Yeah, I will say I agree. I think C is fair even when like prompted well. And I will say
Yeah,
just on the prompting side, so true. I think it's a general theme, spoiler, is going to be AI is as kind of as good as people are using it. Unfortunately, it's an amplifier, not
yeah,
that good standalone, but we'll get into that more. Um, and one of the most important parts is if you're doing any kind of, just mention you're doing paid marketing, because it will default to organic things. And it does have a distinction. It can, it will give you different results if you mention organic or paid.
yeah,
But it will default to organic. And unfortunately, if this is for paid marketing, you can just ignore those. I just
yeah.
don't. It just. I'm sorry. It will
Bin
give you
it.
SEO recommendations, which are great, but it's just not relevant. And they won't
Yeah,
specify why. So I'm just so on that point, yeah. And yes, I agree. Unfortunately, it's often really generic, and I think a really good example we can give to tell you like why we believe, why we see this. Um, so we do a very specialized subset of CRO as a whole. We do funnels. Like you spend lots of money to generate leads. You do it through a multi-step funnel, yada, yada, yada. This is not a super duper dominant way of marketing compared to like the general sense of marketing. So whenever we've given pages to do, like, I mean, it's so off the ball. Like, it's completely, so like, it really struggles to do it for this more precise parts. So what, the way we do it now, and it's going to be part of our tips and whatnot, we just train the AI on like our model, and like we give it every episode of our podcast and stuff like this to have a look at it, and it's still not great. It's still fine.
It still falls behind.
Yeah. So I think it's just important, if you've got, if you're asking it to review a page, which is a tool in something, it may not be using the correct tool template. So that's what I think it is hard limited.
100%. It is really missing the context. Yeah, 100%. And even though you try to give it context, that one line, like that one sentence that you're giving it, is not enough to kind of change the information that it's going off. Like all of the information it's getting off the internet to kind of decide. Like it's a very weird sort of system. But also, just like my favorite thing to do with AI is I always kind of have my little prompt, and then I kind of put it in and I say, take this and create a prompt for AI. And it's great. I love doing that.
Top tip there as well.
Top tip.
You get it to get one AI to prompt another AI. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
so much better.
Good. Make the machines talk with one another. Okay, I digress.
Okay. Well, we should speed up as well. We've got loads of these to get through.
Page analysis, C.
Yeah.
Heavily in C.
Too. Yeah. Heavily in C. Test ideation.
Look,
do you want me to give?
You do you. You do you. Well, you do you, boo.
I think it deserves at least a B. Even though I don't think it's good independently, I think it is good inspiration, and it helps the creative juices, and it can occasionally throw up something where like, oh, that's actually quite interesting. Particularly if you prompt it to give you hypotheses, not ideas, by the way. Just again.
Well, yeah, I'm heavy in the hypothesis prompting thing.
CRO, we test hypotheses, we don't test ideas. So again, it really that like it actually. You will get much, like, if you don't do that, again, you're going to get bad test ideas, because they're not ideas, they're hypotheses. But I vote B. It gets some interest. I think it's mainly because it helps me think about it in other ways, whereas it can be hard just to get the juices going and, outside of the generic best practice stuff.
Just using that brain. No, I agree. I would say the fallback, like the problem that I find with AI with test ideation, though, is it quite often spits out really like inane changes, and it always falls back to that best practice, and it always falls back to like a messaging thing, which for us, like for what you're doing and just radically changing messaging is just not something that you necessarily want to do straight off the bat as like a test sort of ideation.
You can break marketing funnels and
it's very delicate, and it's sort of just like if you don't really know what you're doing and you don't really have that understanding, and you don't understand like how it all fits together, and then all of a sudden you're just using like this hammer, you probably will break something. And that's why I'd be really careful with that test ideation, and kind of know a little bit more specific about what you want to test, and then go into the specifics more about that, like what are creative tests with. So like we have a testing line, for example, like persistent timer. Okay, that's like a classic, that's a best practice quite often, depending on the vertical. So what cool tests could we have with persistent timer that changes the way it looks, or is a little bit more creative and is something that people haven't done? Well, I mean, whether they have or not, who knows? But I think that is definitely something it does work better than the page analysis, I will say. So I'll camp with you in the B. Yeah. But it could be like even a B minus.
I think it's a C if you're not asking for hypotheses. I'll say that much. And it's also why, we will kind of, obviously we kind of spoil, well, we're giving context, which kind of tells you more about how we're thinking. So obviously we are spoiling bits. But again, it's not the kind of thing where I would just let it ideate and crack on. It's unlikely to prioritize the higher impact tests that are more likely to move the needle in a realistic world. So it's just, you're wasting testing runway. It's something we're going to talk about these. But, again, different folks, strokes for different folks. Test design. So actually like designing. And like we're going to bundle, we've separated out test build, by the way. Just so like build, I'd say it's like the dev part. Design is the, core design.
Build is building the design, really. Test design really depends on what you're using. I've just started with the Claude design, like the specific for design.
Yeah, Claude design.
For like inspiration, and it's not that bad. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's
No,
actually
I
pretty
agree. I
good.
think
I
I
think
think
it
this
creates
is
really good things. I think the issue is, well, okay, there's a bit of nuance that comes into this because first of all, generally speaking, you have a few different part. Like if you're going through a multi-step funnel, you're always going to have kind of like the main elements. You're always going to have a headline. Like you're always going to have either like a, you know, like a box where somewhere where someone can click, like interact with it. Do you know what I mean? We're not reinventing the wheel. Everything is sort of going to look like everything else, but in a different font, or like not a different font. That's a little bit too specific for this, but you know, it all kind of looks like versions of each other, cousins of each other, or something like that. If everyone's using AI to do it, everyone's going to be churning out the exact same kind of thing. I think that
you can spot
it's,
them from a mile if there's an
yeah,
AI
yeah.
form. Like I'm
And
always
if
like,
you're,
yeah.
yeah, 100%, you're like, this is AI, this is AI. And I think that when that happens, when it's really obviously AI, first of all, it doesn't feel authentic. It feels lazy. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it feels, I think, at least this is, yeah, this is my opinion, and I'm going to stand by it. And I think that people kind of get turned off by that.
Well, I think
Because,
that.
you know,
Mhm. I
like,
think there is wisdom in familiarity. Like people know how to engage with things that they know how to engage with. You know, that's why
yes,
like I think
100%.
checkout flows are very like standard nowadays. They are all standard because they are like no one actually designs on checkout flow nowadays. It's quite rare. But I think there is. But I think what the flip side to it is you're likely, it's very unlikely you're going to become a market leader with the like generic one. So like I
I
think
think there
that's the
needs to be
thing.
human thought behind it. Like I think that
Yeah.
you can use it as a stepping stone, you can use it as a basis, but you need to add
Mm.
actual human thought behind it because that's kind of the thing. Like all of these things are also designed with kind of human behavioral psychology in mind. So if you're letting a machine do that, I just don't know if it has the exact same, like I don't know.
I mean, it
This is the
uses the
thing. I'm so
principles. We're
on the
just
fence. It
applying these.
does.
Yeah.
But it just,
Mhm.
I don't, maybe I'm just like too boomer and I'm just like, oh no, not AI, don't take my job. No, I kid. But I think it is really, really good, but I would never just take that design and then also have it just built exactly that way.
Yeah, like again, it's actually maybe something we're going to talk about when we talk about the more optimal use of AI. Like, it's a good starting point, very rarely the finishing point.
Yeah.
Admittedly, but that's like the process of anything. It's like it is iterative.
Yeah.
And it's something we do a lot nowadays. Is people will go make everything, send it to us, and we will then be like, yes, no, yes, edit it down to like what's actually going to convert well.
Yeah.
Man, I will
Well,
say
to be
like it
fair, on
has
those, yeah,
reduced.
those AI builds have been terrible, like not terrible, but have been just so like, yeah,
Very
just
long.
terrible was the wrong word.
Yeah,
Far too
stop
long. Like they
disparaging our
needed.
lovely clients who send us pages to edit. Come
No, that
on.
wasn't about them. It was about AI. But the AI just does think more is more quite often, even if it is trying to bring in those
Mm,
principles, those design principles. And it always says, hey, it's got to be simple, it's got to be this, and you have to have a story or whatever else. And all of those things potentially are correct. But the way that it is then executed that is a way that's super AI. And
mm,
this is where AI kind of, it understands the concept, but the execution is not what the concept is. And there's like such a sort of a mismatch. Again, prompting is going to be super, super important here. Like, just being like, okay, just design me a page. And then, you know, having a prompt that's like, okay, design me a page based on this, want to do this, have a purpose, blah, 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 blah.
mm.
Then you're going to get two very different
Yeah.
results.
But where do you rank it then? Test design. Pin you on the spot.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like I'm like between a B and a C again. I can't
You
really
can't put
like
them all there.
I
That's
can't.
not a ranking. That's not how ranking lists work. You're gonna
Well,
have to have.
I
You
don't
gotta.
want to say A. I can't say A, but I can't say
I think I
B.
would put it into A for
You put it
design.
into A?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think it's good enough independently, but it's clearly like a
Yeah.
very good strength of it. Like
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's much like it's much better than ideation. I mean, it's almost like in
Well,
a way it's just design
is it? Yeah,
ideation
I
in a
suppose it
way.
is. Yeah.
Um, but like I think it produces
I'm just
if you like
so
it can produce good
hesitant.
enough test designs that like we don't need to put them through a designer. Which for me is like, yeah, that is, you could replace a part of the value chain or whatever of CRO by getting, if it does a good enough job, like, but it definitely can, if you work
I
with it,
suppose
it can.
that's true. I suppose you have to really know what you want, or like you have to
Yeah,
really understand what's going
yeah, it's
on.
not,
And then I think
yeah,
if you do that, if you do understand what's going on, you do understand the test design, you put that in. Yeah, okay. In that
it's
in
not,
that
we're
regard,
not asking it
then
to just like build the, no, we're going to be like, build this,
just do
test
it.
the hypothesis.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I think it's
Okay. All
there,
right. No, I'll
and
do
like,
that. I'll do an A.
I'll be honest, I'm gonna back it immediately for test build as well. Like, I mean, actually, I actually do have a
See,
but it.
my dev experience is not
Mhm.
as much as yours. So with test
Well,
build,
basically every dev does it. So like it's S, like it's
that's
just
what I'm
coding.
think.
Like
Yeah, because
it.
like vibe
Every dev is
coding.
using AI to build now. So like feel like we can't not give it an S tier on building. Like it's just,
Yeah,
like that
I
is
feel
his
like
core. Mhm.
yeah, that's like what it does, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
it
suppose. And
shits
then if
code,
you
and we love it.
yeah, yeah. I have no qualms with that. That's why I'm like, I don't even need to have that deep of a
Yeah.
dev experience. I've just got Claude in my back pocket.
Yeah, like
Claude
generally,
codes for
nowadays
me.
we get sent HTML files by people who just like built them on
Oh, isn't it
Claude, and then we
amazing?
open.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
good.
kind of cool, and like like, honestly, they do. I will say for our personal serial process, we have a dev who uses AI, obviously. But
Yeah.
the one thing I will say when you're built, like, it obviously all comes down to who's you. I think we have to take the point of view of like an expert using it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if like an
That's what I'm
idiot
thinking
uses
because
all of these are
I keep
all
going back
F.
and forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
exactly. I keep
we
going back and
gotta
forth.
be
I'm like,
like, yeah.
okay. We should have
And like in the right
does
hands,
better.
it's really good. User friendliness as well. I think it's part of the ranking. And like I think honestly, you can get Claude to build stuff. It does. Deploying it well and integrating it well can be a different thing. But
Yeah.
it's not the end of the
That's not what we're
world.
talking about here, you know?
A bit of a shout out though, I will say, is I am enjoying a shout out to Hayflow and the AI launch, because what you can now do is within a no code platform software, which basically everyone's doing nowadays to save SaaS. Like this is SaaS is
Yeah.
savior. But within
Yeah.
an ecosystem that is robust and works well and has loads of data and learnings behind it for a specific solution, the AI builds it does for that. You've got the integration sorted. You've got the key like deployment sorted. You've got all the things that are like kind of tricky when it comes to the AI build stuff, and just I think it elevates it from like really good for experts to like actually not bad for beginners. Like it can build. I mean, again,
100%. I
I
mean, it
I
takes
hunt.
like half an hour to get behind Hayflow, to be fair. Like it's
I mean,
really, really simple. And then once
yeah,
you get really deep into it, you can start doing some really cool stuff because the thing about Hayflow is it's really designed for like being able to 100% brand match. And on top of that,
yeah,
have the complexity of a full on funnel, marketing funnel.
yeah.
Um, it is
It's
honestly,
very cool.
it's amazing. So everyone check it out.
Yeah,
Shout out
and
Hayflow, they're amazing.
yeah, the new AI agent from what the funnels I built, pretty cool. Like genuinely
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep.
Um,
Fully
yeah.
agree.
Okay,
All right.
we're
Well,
gonna
this one's
power
going to be
through.
interesting for you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Test results.
we're gonna. You know what? We originally split out test analysis as well, and I'm gonna bundle them together. I mean,
Yeah.
as a whole,
Let's
it
do
is
it.
good at analysis. Like genuinely, it is good at analysis. It's more like how you integrate it into your system and whether you can like get it to do the analysis seamlessly and do the right kind of analysis. I've definitely had to like push it and poke it and be like, oh, could you actually look at this, that? But it does analysis. The numbers do stack up. I don't really trust it to, so I usually do the numbers as well. I don't think it would form hypotheses behind some of this, and like, oh, maybe it's because of this, that, the other. I don't. Again, it can be. It's a bit like the ideation. It can be interesting, food for thought. I don't think it. I mean, I guess we often, if we had perfect data to know everything, then we would know stuff. So what we do as humans, we just make ideas as well about why this might be like this anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think it has the best ideas, not the worst either. So I mean, I think when it comes to analysis, and I think it's pretty fair. Again, I would give it. I'm gonna say B. So
What?
I feel like we're gonna
We're
say B.
grouping a little bit too.
We're being quite gentle. I think,
Very, very
but the reason
generous, to be fair.
I think it can do the competent enough job of like it will tell you what happened and why it happened. It is then up to you to like really dig into it and validate and be that. But again, for the actual results and analysis, like it rarely hallucinates because it's working from a just defined thing. Then it's just giving your
Yeah.
opinions, and again, it's all fine. If you like every AI tool nowadays, well, most of them plug into MCP. You can pull the results directly. You can ask Claude for the results. You can do this, that, the other. And yeah, it does emphatically work. It doesn't. It does well. Like we do a lot of other things that like make the results more useful. But again, it definitely it can even remember results, so you can keep like a living, at least someone bloody knows what's going on. So I think it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, I would agree that I think like I use it quite often to analyze results of um like social media stuff. Um,
yeah,
just like
it is useful.
yeah, you upload all this and you kind of just like, you know, prompt it to kind of give you like an analysis, show trends, give like all of the things and just whatever, and you'll get like a little report and you're able to kind of like work off that because
Mm.
that's sort of it's not quite CRO, obviously, like our test results, yeah, obviously that is also kind of like used, but I mean, it is interesting to use, but again, I would feel exactly the same way. Like I would definitely not like it's not a singular thing that you're going to be using the whole time and just trusting everything
Well,
onto the analysis.
I think this is the thing. Like we are like this ranking for me is very much about how to use AI as a tool in a limited scope, with like
Yeah,
taking the point of view of like
we need to
an expert using it.
preface.
We
Yeah,
are gonna now talk about
limited
AI
scope.
agents.
Expert.
Because I do think the
Yeah,
worthwhile tools. They are
yeah,
worthwhile tools.
can
I
be
don't think.
100%.
Yeah, I think where they do start, and this is, I think the problem is that what. Well, okay. Well, I do think the problem is that a lot of people see AI, independent agentic AI, as like the natural outcome to all of this. I think it is a fallacy. It's just like being like, oh, AI could and absolutely can and emphatically can run all your paid marketing. There's Rise AI that will just do all it for you and just like go do this. Now,
Mm.
it can, but admittedly, so could a child if we really wanted to. This is I know that's that's too reductive. But the point is, like an expert using it as a tool will get better results. Like over time, like I mean, I find it God,
Yeah.
well, I actually very much back that. I very much back that opinion. So I think, and now as we're going to talk about AI, always on AI agents to do agentic CRO AI, I think it suffers from a lot of the issues. And actually, if we're going to put that on a ranking, I mean, it's D. I think D is generous. I think D is
I
very
was about to say,
generous.
I feel like that's really generous. I
Yeah,
don't think I
I
would have
mean,
said
like,
D, to be fair.
yeah, anyway, D, E, or F. I mean, there's a wide variety of
Def.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Def
so
bottom
it's,
there.
I think, and this is the thing which really like also why people constantly ask me, like literally I got actually a lot of messages about this, like which agentic AI one is best. I'm like,
I am so sick of this question. It's just my whole LinkedIn is that question.
yeah.
Please
However,
stop.
if we want to have an opinion, uh, you know what, we're gonna say Crow, which is an agentic AI solution built by a pal of mine, which honestly seems pretty cool. It does seem to do the job. If I'm honest, I don't think it's better or worse than the others. I think this is the thing. I think currently, I think they will get better, and I think they will become more specialized. So agentic AI for
Yeah.
Shopify. Shout out to Crow Sense, which does big audit stuff. Again, I don't think it's like the end of like, but I think they will specialize into like sub agents for like particular, for particular use cases. So I could, I think Heyflow
Yeah.
AI to build funnels based on audits data on what funnels are good and why could actually produce something, and from what I can see, produced good quality stuff.
Yeah.
However, the more like generic, like, oh, I'll just plug it. So yeah, I think the more generic ones, just plug it in and do it. Like, I mean, will it
I
do
think it
organic
just
optimization,
I think it makes
CRO,
a
like
bit more
paid?
muddy or like murky. I think these
Mm,
things really make it a little bit more like overly complex in situations where the complexity is just not quite the answer. Like it just seems to it sort of seems you drown a little bit in like information and things like that, and there's lots of acronyms and there's lots of trying to figure out what means what and what's happening and all of the bits and pieces and just trying to like, could you actually just take a step back? It's not that deep sometimes, maybe.
yeah, and these tools are kind of there for convenience, and since they're not even really hitting those buttons, like it is not
Yeah.
wonderful. So if I'm honest, my current opinion on agentic AI is pretty low. I would love for someone to change my mind on this one, and I think on Shopify it's got a big future. I think particularly because there's so much sale data on Shopify. Like if Shopify itself released the agentic AI CRO thingy, I would be interested as hell about that. I think the companies that own the big data that can inform to train like a more a sub AI on a specialized part of CRO, now that is value. Now that is defensible. That is, that's going to.
That's a good defensible position.
If you go plug in Delton AI right now, which is one of the leading AI ones, or Chameleon as well, which does more like the build side, but it can do agentic AI. I just, you're not going to get incredible results. You'll get you'll get some results.
But the thing is, you'll get results, but that's the thing.
Not
you'll get results,
nothing.
but
if you're not doing anything, why
not? I suppose it's better than nothing. In comparison to nothing, it's definitely better, but
it is something. But that is about as generous.
I mean, it's a difference between a 0 and a 1, isn't it? It's a difference between a 0 and a 1. But
it's either on the ranking list or not.
It's
just don't spend lots of money on it. If I'm honest,
I think the person that's reading that data and the person that's getting those results, there needs. I mean, it's not always going to be a great match, but I mean, it's the start, as you said. I think it's gonna continue. It's gonna get way more specialized, and I think it's worth watching. It's worth being aware of for sure.
And I think the final rider will add to this before we move on to like the future and our take. Well, if that is kind of implicit in what we've said so far. But AI has been used already. Like it is already integrated into every CRO platform. Not just for like accessibility and MVP stuff. Instead, like smart traffic splitting, multi-arm band, or like it's already taking on like helping you design tests and like test completion and analysis. And I do think in these specialized sub waves, like these are useful ways of doing this. And I do think there is value in them. I think if you just, if you're just completely offshoring your CRO resource to the agentic AI, I think that will become more viable in 5 years' time. I think right now, sure, I don't think it'll be terrible, and I think it'll improve. But I think it is kind of a useful tool. It is not a tool master. I don't know. And also, I will say the build side, depending on how you want to do this stuff, it can actually really limit what you can test, because a lot of these agentic AI ones are they just edit the HTML and things like this, rather than like the deeper stuff which can really move the needle, like more novel testing. So again, it's just it comes with limits. Like anything, it is a trade-off. But again, I just want to flag that lots of the tools already have it in there, and I do think these will get better with time, particularly as these big proprietary data sets are used. Because I mean, generally, we train our own AI on all of our podcast episodes. And, I mean, you can probably download the transcripts from YouTube. I have no idea. Feel free to do yourself. Maybe give us a shout out if you do. That'd be cool. But it has genuinely helped. And we've also fed all of our articles where we've written about our AI theory, our CRO theory, and like our principle, like how the framework in which we do CRO. And it definitely helps. And I believe these things will get better. But currently, I think D tier is incredibly generous. Matchy, I'm going to put down E. I think D is way too generous. I'm thinking D, if you've got like a human looking at it, no, it's an E. It's an E. But again, I would love to be wrong. Come on, please. I would love to be wrong. And that apparently it's way better nowadays, and I need to do a new test in it every month to keep up on it. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's
it. Well, what about the future and your take?
I mean, I mean, go for it. I thought I've kind of spot my hand.
Hey, look, I mean, at the end of the day, all of this is just making CRO more accessible. It's making it more accessible across the board. It's, I think, bringing more attention and more awareness to CRO, what it can actually do. People are going to be, like this is bringing it sort of into the open where before.
Great for the CRO industry and market.
Well, it makes everything much more cutthroat, and it means that if you're doing nothing, I suppose this is the difference between 0 and a 1 with using agentic AI. If you're literally doing nothing and you have someone that's using agentic AI, they're probably going to be better than you at some point, because you can't just do nothing when everyone
Mm,
is doing something. And
mm,
then I think, yeah, I think it's even more of a reason to do CRO. It's even more of a reason to get that free money, as we call it. You just being able to make more money from your current ad spend, about really understanding, okay, how is the market moving? How can I go with it? And how can I still kind of get a piece of that pie? Because I mean, there's a lot of different companies out there all vying for the attention of the consumer.
yeah. Agree. I do think it is free money. And I do think, again, it just made it a lot easier. It's like Facebook, anybody can launch Facebook ads now, or like Google ads. You can all do it really easily, and AI can also do it for you, but an expert will do it much, 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 much better.
You don't know what you don't know. I think that's a really important thing, and I think people need to be aware of it. So yeah,
You
whilst you
know,
can do it quite easily, being able to master that and actually do it like expertly is very, very different. And it's
mm,
the difference between like knowing and not knowing. And then if you don't know, you don't know.
yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah, I
yeah,
think as a whole, Zero, this has actually really benefited from this, from the AI-ification as a whole. I think the industry and like the people do it will actually grow substantially, because I think once people realize that Zero is free money, like I cannot, if you run paid marketing, it is free money. If you do organic, you don't have that many stuff on your website, then like it is free
yeah.
money, just less, and probably not as much as your subscription to whatever you're doing. But because Zero software, by the way, is crazy expensive, because the providers of the software know it's free money. They've cottoned on. They've cottoned on to this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and I do think, again, as you know, actually, honestly, my genuine take is either big CRO agencies or the proprietary owners of the SaaS and the tech behind things will build its own agentic AIs that will actually probably be able to deliver pretty good results in time, and which I'm very, very curious to see how that develops. But I actually think it's a really, really good thing for CRO as a whole. Increases
Yeah.
the awareness, and it gives people like the corners to understand why CRO is meaningful, and why expertise in the matter obviously also matters.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think being generic, which is what an AI CRO thing will be, fine. It will give some familiar feelings to your website, which I think will put off some people for sure. However, people interact with familiar things because they are
Yeah.
familiar.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just about that, like, every time I go to a website where I can tell it's just
Mm,
overly AI, like someone's literally just put in a prompt, they've got the thing and they've done it, and they've done absolutely nothing else to the website. That's like, I think the moment of just kind of like, well, it AI slop. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I
And
think that's like what everyone's talking about. And it's sort of like, if you read a link, it's like if you read a LinkedIn article or a LinkedIn post, and it's just so obviously AI, and you're just like,
mm,
why are you making me waste my life with
yeah.
this?
And I do think part of it is the fact that we constantly look at websites. Like, it's like our life. And so
Yeah.
whenever we see an AI one, we're
Yes.
like, oh, like we do roll up. When we don't roll our eyes, we're like, great, here are the
Where's
changes.
the ones with
Easy.
personality? Where's this one with something a little bit
Mm,
different that's just had that little bit of
yeah.
like a handmade touch that's just made it something more, I don't know, cohesive with the brand, or something that we haven't seen that's like a little good idea. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I think sets, it's just the most minor things that really set companies apart, and set websites apart, and set funnels apart. And that's sort of what I would really, like say. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, again, like when looking at CRO and when we're looking at all of this sort of becoming far more mainstream, which is a really positive thing. On the other hand of that, being able to understand why expertise is really, really important, and why
Mm,
having that little cut above the rest is going to be, again, that game changer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think, yeah, it's important that we kind of, well, I think also the narrative is important, and, how we shape the narrative around CRO. Well, not us specifically, like how the narrative builds, like kind of, obviously AI is everything, and like everybody wants this to work, and like we want it to work as well. Great, we can just outsource the more labor intensive parts of our job. Brilliant. um
Yeah.
However, like again, I think it's important to remember like trust, and when we, if we are employed by someone to do this, like we take that incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
And so for us,
And
like
I just
giving the
wouldn't
rein,
trust, yeah.
no,
I
no,
would never
not
wanna
even
be employed by
close.
someone and then have to be asked why something's been done. And I'm like, well, this is what AI told me to do.
Yeah.
Never in my
Yeah.
life. Absolutely not.
No.
0 out of 10.
No. Yeah. I think it's.
And that's it. And that
Mm,
was it. I remember how we were having a conversation with someone in the AI space, sorry, in the CRO space, and it was sort of like we were talking about AI, and we were talking about how like, well, moving forward, how can companies actually kind of do business? Because if AI is taking over everything, and I
yeah.
think the core of that that came out of that conversation was just humanity and trust. And you need to trust the person, you need to trust the business through the people that are working for it. So AI can only get you
Mm,
so far, and then the rest of it is on your shoulders. And I think that that's going to be the way forever because humans interact and connect with humans. They don't with machines.
yeah. No. Agreed. Agreed. If anybody has, honestly, we would love to. Like,
I
we
would
will be
so
doing more
love
episodes
discussion
on
on
this.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please
And
comment,
if
discuss.
you're like a master, actually, I mean, we know some people like proper masters at like well, not quite. I mean, kind of agentic. I mean, like basically, they obviously own the process and they are experts themselves. But agentic AI experts in Google Ads, in paid media, and like a lot of like the larger marketing disciplines. But if you're like an AI CRO agentic expert and you really like see it, please reach out. I would love, because I've had my opinion changed by some of by these channel experts that now, like, I mean, it feels to them, it feels like they're cheating. And they've really leveraged the hell out of it, and they've done a really, really
Yeah.
good job. I'd love to see an examples of where this has happened. And so like that kind of view of like an expert on agentic AI, like if you're
That'd
how
be
we were talking
amazing.
about CRO experts with AI, but what about CRO expert with agentic AI? I would love to see it because I have not seen something compelling. I've not had it being compelling for myself. Please do reach out. Anyway, that's probably enough on I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, we're in the 40s now. So let's pivot. And
Pivot.
Hall of Shame and Fame, we're going into real estate. Let's get into it.
Let's do this. Okay, so yeah, I remember once finding one of these pages, and I was so impressed because it actually pulled real data from other places. I don't know if these pages will, but let's have a quick look. See, and we will be relatively fast with this one. So
Yeah,
home move,
brevity.
the home of
Oh,
moving home. Yeah.
I mean that
Um,
like is quite far down on the page.
yeah, that's a bit weird. Like that, I don't
That
think
I
that's
think
adding the.
that's not supposed to be.
I
I
think
think
the
that's
agentic
supposed to
AI
be.
would be like, you should change that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I will also say, please have a question here, not find questions and buttons are have better click-through rates than CTAs. So rather than find agents, be like, ask a dummy question. Oh, what's the first question? This is a bad first question. Sorry,
Yeah.
we're getting ahead of ourselves. But we will get into about like ask a yes/no question, like have you looked into selling your house before, or is this your first home? There we
Yeah.
go. Just because then people engage with it, you're much more likely. So I disagree. Yeah. However, I got bullet points, short, find agent, clear, as seen
To
on
look
stuff as
at.
well. Yeah.
It's in the middle. I've not seen that before. It's generally on a desktop. You'll have it like on the left or the right hand side, but smack
Yeah.
bang in the middle with the kids all like. Don't mind that because you sort of that's where your eye really
Mm,
goes to. Like you've got that
yeah.
color with the trust pilot, and it does sort of go down that hierarchy. So it's not too bad, to be fair.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't
We've
hate
got
it.
location, we've got estate agents, like product category, got that. Nice.
I thought this was cool. So I did search
That is
for
good.
London. Yeah, and like, again, it's like clearly showing some, well, I believe real stats using listen
One would
data
hope.
from,
One would hope.
yeah.
There you go.
Actually, I mean, we
Yeah.
can look into the data. So this is actually something I'm going to show this now because all these, I really hope they use them as well, but there is incredible public data and not like paid for data solutions for information about the real estate agents industry. So I hope they're all going to leverage this because that's the point. Like, I want to really show off how you can use data to provide really meaningful user journeys, which I assume produces good results for these ones. And that's why I think real estate agents actually secretly been one of my favorite verticals to follow. I followed them for like the last 5-10 years. Well, maybe 5 years. I'm not quite that lame. I wasn't straight out of uni like, you guys seen the use of an API call in this funnel? It'd be time to get this twisted. But yeah, this is probably too much. copy, by the way. The London property market, like,
Yeah, that is way
yeah.
too much copy. No
This
one's
is
reading
also
that.
cool. I like this.
Yeah. It's a lot to look
Information
at.
about, yeah. Okay. This is too
That's too
much
much copy.
copy.
Too
Yeah, God.
much, too
Okay,
much,
too
too
much
much.
copy.
Way
We're
too
gonna just
much.
do an inspect. Admittedly, this was Google, so people do want, but I even for like, I mean, obviously, like that's
Yeah.
Um,
But that's
show.
cute.
Yeah, that's actually one of the nicest hero
I
images
like
I've
that.
seen on mobile. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That works
it's not
well.
bad.
No
Admittedly,
notes.
I think
I mean,
a
I do have notes,
question
but
box
like,
would be better, but
oh my
yeah.
gosh, Alexa just started speaking with me and it scared the living daylights out of me. I am full of adrenaline right now. Sorry.
Oh, love it.
Okay.
Um, I will say the Asianon is not visible above the fold,
No,
so
just get that.
disappointing. Should we check out this funnel then?
Let's do it quickly.
All right, very quickly. Yeah, don't like this first question. I'm sorry.
I want
I
all of
don't know
that.
which
I
one's
want it to be
most important.
fast. I want it to be the best, and I want it to
Yeah,
be cheap. Do you know what I mean?
and there are better dummy questions, and I think, admittedly, address really does matter. See what it
Yeah.
says. Oh, I
Oh,
mean, again, so what you should be doing here is
you
teasing some
haven't provided me
value.
with enough value. Yeah.
Yeah, and be yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, it's like we have the
Mm.
same opinion. Amazing. Yeah. Not enough value.
um,
Not enough value
yeah,
at
not
this point that
enough.
I'm going to put my email address in. You need to
Yeah,
make it tangible. You need to
mm,
make them want it so they're going to do it.
yeah, and you can just you can fake it. You can flash up it's like, we pulled this up, then like put this over it,
Yeah, like
and be
like a
like, oh,
picture of a
just do this
home or
to
something.
yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Actually, that's probably
yeah,
not going to work.
not impressed, unfortunately.
No. I mean,
Also,
visually
I
very
do like
cute, but
this. Yeah, visually nice.
yeah.
263 agent inquiries today, lives, but
Yeah. But a
um,
cute lies. No one's going to know that.
I'm gonna hard refresh and see if it increments. It does not increment. Oh yeah. Admittedly,
Oh,
I
static.
we're not. Yeah. So I'm actually quite disappointed by this one. That is where we'll leave it for now.
Yeah.
Funnel not great. But I mean, clearly, like this is good. I do think you could run a yes
It's
no
got good
question.
bones. It's got
Yeah.
good bones. We could definitely slim that down a bit. We could change the question set a little bit, and then honestly, it'd revolutionize the conversion rate and lead quality.
Yeah. No, definitely. Um, yeah, I am a little bit disappointed with this, I must say.
I know.
But okay, next one. And I think it is important to mention, you know, these are still good funnels. Like these funnels actually, like if we're compared to a lot of ones,
Exactly.
like these are lead gen funnels that work. So they
Yeah.
could be better, but they are work. I'm being quite
Yeah.
critical of these
Yeah.
guys right now.
You
Oh
have
yeah,
to
this
be
is
if you want to make
compare
the
agent
difference.
fees. Sell
Sell
your
your
home quicker.
home
So it's
quicker.
really zooming in on a particular use case, but it also
Yeah.
then highlights the different value ways, which I actually kind of like. I think that's really interesting and good. It
Oh,
shows you like the kind of it teases the value well.
yeah.
I actually one of the few hero images I'm a fan of. Enter postcode as first
Yeah.
question.
All right, let's go.
It's yeah,
I mean,
compare it. Yeah. See
oh, look at
there. I mean,
that. I mean,
love
this
that they've asked a
is,
question.
yeah.
Yes, I'm selling. Okay,
Oh, it's
so first off,
personalized already.
no, that's a lie.
I know, but
Prices.
like you still have
Yeah,
I mean, you put in the
yeah, yeah.
SE15RL, like
You're so
that's,
right.
you know, yeah, come on, Will.
Annoyingly, I will mention is that well, I don't. You can pull my actual flat details from my exact address, so which is on the property API, I'm pretty
No.
sure. So I'm actually again, could be smarter, but when you're looking to do, I know this, just don't. I don't know.
Oh, look at that. It goes to like pound. Oops, terrible. Soz, but like, I mean, what do you do? First of all,
Just say
on a
optional as
desktop,
well.
that text could be a little bit further out so you don't
Yeah.
have it all concentrated like that. I don't know. But also like no one's I mean obviously it works on mobile, but it doesn't work on desktop in my opinion. And no one's gonna be typing in anything because nobody has time for that.
Yeah, again, I think it's really important because this is clearly optional, which you can see down here, but that is hidden. If
Yeah.
you were clear that this is optional, then that will be fine. I wouldn't have an issue with this one, or at least have the CTA above the fold as well. So
just
I mean,
make
I'm
it
just gonna
clearer.
skip.
I thought it was not optional, which was like, no, definitely
No, I know
not.
exactly.
But
Oh,
yeah.
see, now that's what you do. This is value keys.
Yes, this is
Now it's
value
going
to
to
we
ask me to
like
put in my
this.
email. This is a loader that I can get behind.
Yeah,
I love a good loader.
100%. Look at that,
Oh,
22 agents. Oh my goodness
now we just need to do
gracious.
this.
Yes. And look, it's got
Wow.
easy use. We've got that. I love that. Love that.
Yeah,
Huge fan. And I love that
this
we had
much better.
questions beforehand. It's been personalized. So you actually think, okay, based on what the information that I've given them, this is actually going to provide me something to do with the 22 agents. I'm fully down and you're about to sell your house. So congratulations.
Let's have a look-see. Okay. It didn't ask my exact address, by the way, which I'm a little bit disappointed by. But I'm actually curious if it's gonna.
Oh.
So this is actually, I think funnels where they have to use OTP because their quality isn't good enough. A hot take. I don't think OTP. So one-time password, by the way. That's what I mean here. I don't think this is the way to do it. I think there are better ways. You can get better quality through other methods. This is a very damaging hammer. And I think there are better ways of doing this. Yeah. So obviously,
Refer back
I'm
to the
not
hammers
gonna.
we've already spoken about in
But again,
previous.
it's very, it's very teasy. It's really
Compare
making
agents
this.
now. That comparison language, like that, really gets you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think
And like this whole thing behind.
the whole
So you
thing.
can't tell it's
This
an
is done
overlay
really
because
well.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. Okay. I will actually, however, go back to. Let's just have a quick look at that page. I don't think we need to look at this on mobile. This looks like it's going to be the same on mobile. So I'm pressing back,
Yeah.
but nothing's happening. Okay. The page itself. I mean, yeah, I am. Yeah,
How it works. Great.
I like to see it. Scan. Yeah,
What you're
reinforcing the
getting,
value
value
of the
again.
comparison service
Yep.
itself.
Oh, wow.
Visual
Look at that.
representation of this. Cool stuff.
I don't think I need to have it animated either. Who cares? Just give me the numbers. Like,
featured estate agents. I actually kind of like this, that they're not like the really big ones, so you think you're going to get a deal. So actually, I'd almost say like you could put that higher up.
Yeah. Above
so
the
actually, I think
visualization, probably. At least.
So I guess they do show some of them here where you're like, oh, I don't know these ones. So I think it's really interesting. And why sellers use us. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some
faces.
people.
Faces. Yeah,
they
we
look
love
like real
to see
people
this.
too.
Kim. Victor.
Very
real people. Rosie.
Yep,
we love
Rosie.
it. Oh, and register. I mean, might as well have that on there.
FAQ. Okay. You know what? I'm impressed.
Yeah, I think this is a good page. Like they've done. This is clearly successful. Lead gen vertical for them. At least I hope so. They were bidding on some quite expensive keywords, so I assume so.
Nice.
Alrighty, final page. Get agent. This is from Meta, by the way. The first two we found on some very expensive keywords from Google. This one is from paid marketing. Oh, and I don't have the ad up still, unfortunately. But well, yeah.
We're working with what we got.
Yeah.
Compare estate agent. Get started is a little bit lame.
I like get started. I'm sorry. I know
I feel like it's too generic.
Generic is fine. I think in this context, you're getting started. Like because if you say get quote, if you say something more precise, it may not fit unless it's dynamic. So I think it often it's
the compare agents one of the previous one.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So like saying compare agents.
Compare now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Compare quotes.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. Okay, I fully take back my opinion. You were right.
In light of new information. I mean, I do get the get started, but I feel like you could probably just do something that's a little bit more in keeping or cohesive with sort of what people are doing potentially. I mean, it's cute, it's simple, it's got ticks, it's got Trustpilot, it's got, I think this seems to be quite. I think the thing is about like real estate is obviously like it's going to be really important what your postcode is, and normally asking for a postcode straight off the bat is quite a big ask. Would not recommend. However, this is very in keeping with the experience that people go to these sites for. So I don't think it is that damaging. It depends on what comes after that. So The one we had previously was really, really good with just kind of like, okay, well, let's have a few little questions because what we're doing is we're personalizing to where you are. Whereas the other one, whilst it did not ask, did it ask for the postcode straight away or not?
No, I can quickly show that. I was actually just looking at it as well. So it
Yeah.
just said
No, it
find
just said find
agents,
agents.
and then you get into the question
That's
set,
right,
and
yeah. So
then you
whilst
pick
they've not
this,
asked for it straight
and you
off the
get the
bat,
site address as well.
yeah, but when they do ask for it, you have no reason to continue because, like, where is the value? What am I getting from this? Um, Whereas the other one provided value, and you had a much softer landing. So I'm be
Yeah.
curious to what comes after this once we put it in.
And I do like that as an entry thing. Admittedly, again, I do really strongly feel a dummy question, yes, no, will have better engagement here. So I think
Probably.
if I were them, I would just A/B test loads of different first parts here because I just find it hard to believe postcode will be the best one. As seen on is below the fold, guys. Disappointing.
Yeah, just bring that up a little bit.
But how to pick the best one? I mean, maybe make it more specific to yourself.
Yeah.
This is fine. If we could have a picture of Mr. Halley, that'd be excellent.
Yeah, that'd be better. Oh,
These are
look at
cool.
that. That's
Love.
cute. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Trustpilot.
I like that they've got the same CTA there as well. That was good.
Yeah.
Started.
Not messing about with loads of different things. They've got this thing up
like
here, so
journeys.
you're always ready to pop your thing in if you want to.
See, look, they've got compare agents. Look at that. Yeah, see, they could do compare agents.
Okay, that's the other test we'd be running here. But we need to reach out to these guys because these guys probably can help them. And I actually really like this. This is cool.
Everyone.
They don't actually give their Trustpilot review. Yeah, we can't help everyone. Well, they do here. This is actually shockingly well rated. That feels like a lie.
It's shockingly well.
Just leeches aren't well rated. Wow. Okay, it's well rated.
From 9,000 reviews.
Bloody hell, they're actually
They've
doing
got
a great job.
All 5 stars except for like ones. Oh no, 5 and 4, and then like a 1 star.
Yeah.
This is kind of what my Uber rating looks like, actually.
Hilarious.
As a passenger. I would love to see the data on the time of day or night that I was in those Ubers to know if there's sort of a correlation. But
that would be cool, actually.
It would be so interesting.
Okay, so
right.
I'm gonna
back and
get started. This is clearly, not bad.
Ooh.
See, again, precise number in the thingy, what yada. I have to scroll for the questions, which I do not like. Use the other like pit buttons side by side. Yeah, I really don't like that. But it keeps all the same size. 2 bedrooms.
Oh, don't make us double click. Just make it go through. I don't mind having that Trustpilot at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't hate this at all. I will also say this is a better
it doesn't go to the pound. Like, you can't get too granular. It was, like, this is fine. You sort of need that information. When do you want to appoint an agent? Okay. Oh,
okay, reinforcing the value. Okay, so now it's actually getting more specific. Okay, so it's actually going to use the API. I hope so. Well, it's not going to. But we will give it. I might give it real data for this.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Oh, we're asking them sequentially. And
yes, this is beautiful.
Oh, we love to see it. Well done. Really hope it doesn't ask
agents' names and fees. That's a very specific CTA.
Yeah, that's good actually. Admittedly, I still think the letting agents one, compare agent fees, where they actually had the overlay on the other one.
Yeah, I think the overlay was better.
Is probably going to be best. But let's see this. Don't want to OTP me. Come on.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. There's another loader. What's going on? Wow. So that's
you then request valuation. So I mean, I would have liked to see more information on this side. I must say.
Yeah.
This is a little bit underwhelming. I don't know.
Interesting though.
Why not? Oh god, they probably will get back to me. I really don't want. I don't want to encourage it.
You might get a good deal. Wow.
Okay, now so this is actually a really interesting. So this is a funnel type that is really dominant in the US, where you match. You have to select the people you're currently matched with, and then they're going to send it. and then you go through to another one to invite you to do other ones in this comparison model approach.
Mm.
But I would have liked to see the sale time and nearby listings and potential asking price and things like this
Mm.
more before and like the
Yeah.
fee quotes. That's the information I would have liked. But I guess it's probably commercially better for them to do this one. And why is it sorted by alphabetical? Somebody by like most recommended.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, you could do it.
that's
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
yeah.
Like, why is it not? Yeah. Yep. 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 I was like, you can
Like
do that,
cubics.
but yeah, why is it not automatically like that?
Wow.
Wow.
So and it's putting the listing. Like, it's clearly it's providing real value. And I like
It
the fact
is.
that these funnels actually plug into real data sets that can be easily retrieved and easily visualized and shown. Um,
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, I'm
yeah,
like, obviously, there's still things that you could do. There's still tests that we could do. It'd be really, really interesting, especially on
yeah.
that
I
first
don't think
question.
it's
But I mean,
yeah.
this is proper solid, and
Yeah,
chapeau. Head
this
as
part
a
is
shout out
cool.
to whoever did get agent. You're doing great.
Yeah, that was the shortlist. Shortlist was good. I think we could have done a better value tease part for this one. I think that would be definitely something I'd want
That
to test.
overlay would have really been
Yeah,
amazing
that
for
would
this
have
one
cleaned up.
because this was really
Yeah,
good with it, but just come on with that overlay would be really fantastic.
yeah, and I think some A/B testing on this side as well. But
Yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
really strong. Like I'm glad this one has result saved a lot of my faith, um, which is good.
Yeah, that was amazing. Oh, I loved that. I mean, what a positive way to end
Yeah,
this podcast. It's a
wow.
very rare experience. And we're like, wow, that was so good. But that was. Loved that.
Yeah,
Little highlight of the week.
yeah, kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Go get it. And that was on a meta funnel. So I'm sure I could have
Mm,
found maybe some of the other ones on meta funnels, but people that can make meta work and so don't have to pay ludicrous amounts for a click cost on Google, usually means that they've got a much better funnel. Like it's a general rule. Like if you can make it work on meta, your funnel's much better. Or like they're often quite different funnels as well. But generally speaking,
yeah.
you can make things work on Google. A very high CPCs, but like very it's just different maths there. But meta, it's like you
Yeah.
must have a really good funnel
Yeah.
to do it at scale.
That's the one.
And it looks like they're spending a lot of money. So yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
cool.
Well, for the sake of everybody, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah,
Comment the void, please.
come in the void.
As always. And I mean, it was an absolute pleasure. I had a great time.
Yeah, this is awesome. As always, thank you everyone for listening and listening to us ramble. I
Yes.
hope you found the AI stuff interesting and
And
saw
if you
how
have discussion
data and
points, reach out,
please. Oh,
talk to us.
yeah.
Love to
Cool.
discuss. Awesome.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.